Lord Provost, while I do not doubt that some in our community feel safer and empowered by a greater police presence, that is certainly not true of everyone. I expect most people in this chamber remember the video shared after the coronation of two policemen smirking while they followed a young woman home. I doubt she felt empowered. And of course, the sad death of Sarah Everard at the hands of a police officer abusing his power shows why women might feel scared of the police.
Mr. Marion Cameron.
Just briefly, Lord Provost, yes, I was at the Culture and Communities Committee last week when we had the report, the April to September scrutiny report for the Edinburgh City Division, and I would commend this report to all members in this chamber because it gives you a very detailed breakdown of what crimes are going up and down and so forth, and what's being solved and not. And for me, what struck me was the number of sexual assaults and rape, common assaults and serious assaults all going up. And my question to the senior officers were, obviously these kind of crimes are hugely serious, that in terms of crimes against children and child abuse. So I was seeking assurance that those kind of serious crimes would remain prioritised. The police have a hugely difficult job to do. Another thing that struck out was the number of speeding offences, which have gone up some 87.9%, which is just, beyond it. In relation to what Councillor Staniforth talked about in terms of poverty and crime, shoplifting is going up. So I think for a very detailed overview of the city, the crimes that are happening, what's going up, what's going down, and so forth, please, I recommend the report to you. It's hugely informative, and it should also inform our kind of policies, because despite putting all the effort into trying to prevent the fireworks violence and antisocial behaviour and doing a lot of preventative campaigning around keeping women safe, the Equally Safe Committee work, the White Ribbon campaign, the police's own That Guy campaign, it's really serious that serious assaults, common assaults, rapes and sexual assaults are going up. So that, to me, is a really good resource for us as elected members to look at and consider seriously. And I just wanted to highlight that, Lord Provost. Thank you for allowing me to speak.
It seems today that the SNP group has moved up a gear, maybe as a general election is looming, and the unnecessary need to justify cuts when they're cuts, I really find quite alarming, because the cuts to the police are actually part of a disproportionate series of cuts that have happened over a huge amount of public services, and especially those which are under the criminal justice portfolio. So we have, more than 1,000 less firefighters, working in the Scottish Fire and Rescue Service. Our court system is in collapse. We have twice as many people on remand awaiting trial than we had before the pandemic. And these are all really serious issues, because what it means is that people are not getting access to justice. And the poorer you are, because legal aid has been frozen as well, it means you are being priced out of justice as well.
Now, sometimes, Lord Provost, these debates often do create more heat than light. But actually, I feel like I've learned something in this debate, because we have at least one of the two parties that form the Scottish Government being open and honest enough to admit that the funding decisions that are being taken are in fact a deliberate and conscious decision to drive down police numbers. The Green Amendment that's before us could not be clearer. This is not a matter of concern. It isn't concerning to one of the Scottish Government parties, at least, that there is going to be a reduction in visible policing. It seemingly isn't a matter of concern that it will take longer for the police to respond when our own constituents contact them for help, often in cases of emergency. A lack of action on tackling speeding, not a concern. Response times to thefts and break-ins, not a concern. Fewer people available on bonfire night next year, not a concern, Lord Provost. It's very difficult not to take that kind of amendment seriously, Lord Provost, and I, for one, will not be able to vote for that today, or the SNP one. So